Hello, I'm Dogs, and welcome back to Space Engineers Never Surrender Apex Edition. The last time we suffered a bit of a setback with the loss of the rover. Did manage to secure this nice little place in the mountains with an upgraded refinery. So I want to start today by getting the assembler upgraded to the full one too. Probably means a little bit of stone mining to get the missing resources. And then I want to get mobile again. I'm thinking, based on the hills that we suffered to get here, a flyer will be best. I'm just not sure yet whether to go small or large grade, so let's jump in. Towards the end of last week, I did start making the assembler, and it's computers and motors that's short. With 20 motors and just over 100 computers. Let's see what I've got in the assembler. So iron's what's missing. I can make a little stone mine here, it'd be quite easy to deposit. It's mostly the iron I'm short on for both. I'll try and see if I've got anything to disassemble. Been looting lots of these little things off here. Covered up about 6,000 stone before realising the refinery wasn't turned on. Yeah, that should be enough for those. So I'm going to need a lot more materials for building, of course. Maybe I'll get a bit of power coming in first. If I weld this and one turbine, that should be enough to... I think. So it's just over 7 kilometers to where my closest food source is, and I'm down to 59. I might have to stick 1 or 2 algae farms here. I don't think I've currently got any. Build a flyer quick enough though, that's had a whole day. So I do small grade for the flyer, I should be able to get there quicker than I can produce enough algae here to make the food. So maybe I skip the power generation and go straight to a flyer. Oh, assembler unlocks new blocks. Just debating whether I want cargo. I probably should have some cargo on the flyer, but I treat the small conveyor tube section there as if it's a connector and build from that. And then I can grind that off and put an actual connector when I get back to my main materials. So I'll just go for a medium cargo. I don't need anything too much for this first little one. Yeah, it's got oxygen, so I don't need that. The standard cockpit, since it's just to get it in here, actually I'll get a battery in that middle bit and get that charging. Battery's charging. I think I'm just going to go flat muzzle on the bottom. I think I'll start with that. So it's 3 flat muzzle on the bottom, 2 of the smaller ones pointing in each direction. Nothing pointing downwards because we've got gravity for that. So let's get welding. The temporary name for this vehicle, or this name for this temporary vehicle, how you want to think of it, is going to be Flying Brick. 3 of the upfronts. Start doing the sideways. I'll pull one backwards first. needs be I can fly with only the forwards, backwards, and up. Side. And it's the last side. So battery's getting close. Let's see how just how close. 9 seconds. Right. Got a gyroscope. Right, maybe a safer way to land since I won't have a connector. That on each side with a mag bit on the bottom. They're all turned down. Put the mag plates in a group. Flying brick. Mag plates. See, I got the parts for a small connector. Ew. So let's do this a while. Enable the root and drop down and go it off that way. Let's take the battery off recharge first. Look, 31 food. I've got long enough to connect this up and take some of the materials. Flying brick. Bricks. So there's the two thrusters are pointing backwards. Let's put in a separate group. Oh, yeah, I can activate glide mode. How much battery did I use? Oh, it's charged again. Here we go. That's nice and full. If it still flies nicely, we'll take the slot down, empty it off, come back, get the rest. Once I've got access to it more, I might add more thrust and try and bring the refinery and assembler, but as components, we'll rebuild them. Battery. Kind of caused myself a problem there by not turning the battery on first. See, I'm so used to using event controllers for docking. Go. Just need to try and stay as flat as possible when I'm not trying to go downhill. Turn the brakes off. Well, it still isn't pretty, but it's airborne. You might even recognize that because that might end up being the thumbnail. Oh, I can get the respawn pods last bits as well. What's smoking back there? I wonder if that's one of the thrusters and that's why it struggled so much. I think it is. But yeah, definitely don't want to be living anywhere near here. Nowhere with a good sight, a good view. First load back. What is this? Oh yeah, the silicon. That was processed before I left. So I need to get some of the food out, so we'll start with the custom turret controller. Turn it off. Ooh, that'll be too far. No, it's not. Okay. I just need to get into the inventory of some of these. And the algae. Is that what's right? Set that back up. And sort of tracking back on. And we are eating again. Can I get much of this out is the question. I don't think how I could get a cargo into here. I think if I turn this back on, detach the hinge, bring it forwards, grind off the hinge, put a cargo, put half the hinge back. That's going to be my easiest way. I can produce something. Metal grids. Can't use this cargo. Gonna have to do it the way. Trip up and grab more off the top. So I could go straight back to the mountain and start picking that up and coming back. But then when I pick where I want to live, I'm going to have to move them again. So instead, I think I'll do some scouting for a more permanent residence. Where's the sun? That way, I think. I guess we'll go towards that rather than any other direction. So what I'm looking for is an ice lake. Is the first place to stop and do a base of sorts. And we'll pass where we found the silicon, since that's the furthest I've been this way, and it seems to be the direction of the sun. Something shiny over here. Is that water? I'm going to tag this, but then keep moving, because I really don't want a huge mountain around it if I can avoid it. Two reasons. One, I'll be too tempted to dig into it, which obviously is just going to put me in a place we've all been a load of times on this game, I'm sure. And the second reason, the solar access for the algae farms and for the farms because they still need algae for a lot of the recipes. Call it Lake 1 and we'll keep looking. Oh, there is one there past the respawn pod. I don't know if you saw that just off the port side. Oh, that direction, I think. Definitely better solar clearance around this one. Call this 3 because I'm going to try and tag the one I missed on the way out as 2. Ooh, near the mountain looks kind of nice, and I think that's one of the other planets through that gap there. I think this is the lake we're going to come for. Hide 1 and 3, have them as backups. Well, that's charging. Let's get the solar farm down and try and get pipes welded up so the food can be processed without intervention. Conveyor and one more conveyor junction there. It's all conveyed up. Hopefully I'll have the components to finish off at least one more of these. And there's the last one built. When I start the relocation, I'll leave this here, working away, and come back for the food after I've got set up there. That'll be safer, I think. Double the power from what I had before. So I think of the first things I'm going to need. We'll put some parts of the construction and we'll come back when that battery's charged. Actually, I don't need to wait for it to charge because I'm going to go and get the refinery and assembly from up in the mountain. I can go there and charge off that battery. Let's make sure I'm empty. Ship only, we've got some stuff. Indian container. Should put an event controller on this, really. Let's go. Stop by the respawn pod, then the salvage. Thinking whether I just pick this up with the landing gear and keep it as a memento. No, let's just get a picture and take it apart. There we go. About a third of it full. That's fine. Guess on this first trip I pack away anything that isn't part of the connection. And second time round I get the working parts. I take more than 2 trips actually. 3 bars ought to be enough. Oh, I should fill my pockets too. Turned off trash enable because I'm going to start building up the lake and I don't want to delete any things before I add the power. Arrived at the lake and normally when I build at the lake I'll build near the edge so I've got access to stone if I need little triggers resource, but what's the point in putting on all these extra challenges and then building the easy way instead of building where I'll have a much nicer view. I build my farm somewhere around here as well, I'll have a nice view of whichever direction I please. It seems like this angle should work. Put this right there. Yeah, so you can see the sun's coming up from behind the block from that direction, so if I build the default direction, that should be the direction where we'll get the sun going directly overhead or close to. And by using these new floor 3x3 slabs, I can get a bigger area drawn out. Less resources. Well, that'll make bridging chasms much easier for those doing a lot of rover driving instead of doing the refinery one that people often do. Obviously, some of these will get taken out, swapped with other floors just for a starting point. So, if I put refinery and assembly pointing back towards the old location, I'll put a cargo connector at that side for going to and fro with this little thing. Been doing this for a change with the assembler and refinery. So the assembler on the right, then the stairs up, and then the assembler raised. Then the assembler's modules could go at the bottom. But since I don't need this part of the base to be airtight, probably it's gonna be better not to waste the materials doing that. Keep that for a planet where I need to be airtight. Yeah, that makes more sense on a planet that doesn't need to be airtight. Terminal there. Connect a system of that. Probably metal brazier has to be one of the first components I bring over. Oh, I must get rid of 2/3 of the slot. Could probably get one steel plate back and store these in a wheel, but I think I'll be fine. This is a good place to wrap up for this week. Got a place so I can settle up permanently. Got materials to bring over to make these bits that are here, and some more from the starter base. I think that's a good progress considering start this episode with just a little shack in the mountains, and now I've got a flyer and somewhere to live. So thank you very much for watching Never Surrender Apex Edition. I'll see you all for the next episode where we'll get this thing started properly and hopefully start on a real farm.